Be sure to check out our new comic book series, Lightning Storm. Issues 1 and 2 are available now. I promise you, the story is electrifying. Hey everyone, and hail to the fellowship. We thank you guys for tuning in. I am your nerdy gnome reviewer, the Alvin Barber, and joining me is the lore loyalist himself, TC, the token cripple.
Hello, hello.
And we're those guys. TC, let's try this
Man.
one more time. So we definitely we definitely had a full conversation about The Last of Us, and it just did not. I didn't hit record, and we just definitely had a boomer moment for sure. And it was such an extensive conversation too. It was so well crafted, and the internet will never
Oh
know
my.
about it. So here we are.
Well, we'll do our best. We'll do our best.
Here we are. All right. So you haven't once again, you haven't played the game, but you did watch the show. What were your impressions?
I thought it was a pretty good setup chapter. I liked the way they characterized Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they weren't too messagey about it, so that was nice. Um, yeah, the characters made sense. My biggest thing was just how quickly, like literally the same day it all starts, they're like, "Oh my God, zombie apocalypse!" Like, I feel like that was a little fast.
It's
Um,
rather rushed. Yeah.
but I enjoyed it. Um, I like the characterization for a lot of the characters. Um, Now, what were your thoughts though with the idea that the actors weren't supposed to play the game? Like, what were your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So I saw a tweet back in beginning of January. It was Bella Ramsey. She said she was advised not to play the game, but she ended up watching some of the game throughs. Um, so I tweeted back. I said, "Right, don't play the game to get a better understanding of Ellie as a character, to get a more in-depth view of her personality as well as her bond with Joel." To better realize, the role you'll play. I was like, nope, waste of time, right? So I was kind of being sarcastic. On the surface of The Last of Us, I think it's all about, relationships. We've got Joel, this hardened, callous father who loses his daughter, copes in his own way and just turns himself off to the world. And now he has to, in a sense, smuggle Ellie out of the city and create this bond with her where they have to rely on one another, they have to trust one another. And I think that it was kind of dumb not to have them play the game or kind of get a better view of what these characters are. I know you mentioned the first time around, you mentioned maybe they just wanted it to be more authentic as far as, scenes and things that take place. But I think it still could have been authentic. They could still just be able to immerse themselves within, these characters and just see how these characters reacted in certain situations. So,
Yeah, I that was me being as charitable as I could be. Like, I was trying to
yeah,
come up with some sort of reason why they might do that, but
right, right.
you know, like I said, I really like the characterization. Um, I like that she was able to figure out the code because I mean that was based purely on his reaction. They played 80s music and he was like shit. So I mean it's not like she it's not like National Treasure where the character just knows shit. They have no way to
Right,
know.
right.
Um Biggest question I have is how would this girl who wouldn't have been born before the outbreak, how would she even like know 80s music when they're dealing in essentially martial law? I don't think there's Spotify or Pandora around now. So
Yeah,
I
the only thing I can think of, and it's I know it's a stretch, right? The only thing I can think of is if wherever she was staying, I think it was Fedra or something like that. Wherever she was staying before she was caught on that base, maybe they, she ran across individuals or people whom listened to that music. Maybe they had different audio players or record players or whatever. Maybe she just came across it in that sense. But that's the only. But it's a stretch, right? Because like, what are the odds she comes
yeah
across someone who has all this, this music library, and then she knows these songs, and now she can put it together with the codes. So, but yeah, but it's a,
yeah,
like I said before, it's a
especially since she
stretch.
immediately knew it was 80s.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Yeah.
go.
No, no,
She's
no,
like, oh,
no.
that's
You're right.
80s music. I'm like, it's a little weird that she would know that, but okay,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's yeah, being her age, yeah, it is a little weird that she would know that.
Yeah, like I said, they don't exactly have time for leisure shit. They're in a police state, so um, yeah, the characterization was pretty solid. I I did like that they spent time with what was her name, Sarah, before she was
Yes.
killed. I liked that Joel just lost his shit and started beating on the guard who was being a little shit. Um, and you know, the characters all seem pretty solid, so I'm excited to see what happens next. Like I said, I don't really know much in terms of the game itself, um, and and they don't they do they ever explain why Ellie is immune, or is she just kind of immune and that's just part of the story?
So in the game, she's just kind of immune due to some regional part of her brain that the fungi affects. Apparently, it's not having an effect on that part of her brain. It's like somehow evolved into something else. And for them to actually get a better understanding of it and to extract the cure in the game, they have to, perform a surgery on her, like a rather invasive one, to the point where it's life compromising, which is
Ah,
another thing that takes place. So, but they really don't go into like the real nitty gritty of why she's actually immune. I mean, if you guys out there in the chat, if you guys want to leave a comment and let if I'm missing, if they did, let me know. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played the game, but I don't remember them actually going in depth into why she is immune.
and yeah, I like I said, the characters all seem pretty solid.
Hmm.
I like that she was able to figure out the code. I find it a little weird that she knows 80s music, given the environment she's grown up in. I don't think they would have much chance to be like, oh yeah, here's Hall and Oates and
Hmm.
here's Sticks. Like, but I'm interested to see what they go with. The only thing I can say is they went straight up. They went straight from 0 to 60 really quickly, and the zombie apocalypse happened really, really fast. Literally, one day everything is fine, and that night they're like, "Oh shit, let's leave." Uh,
Yeah.
that was a little weird, but they got it. They got to set it up a little bit, so I'm okay with it. I'm interested to
Uh,
see what they'll do. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they take a little bit of license with Last of Us Part Two because I don't think anyone liked that. So
they did
we'll see.
not. They did not. Yeah, I thought the beginning of the show was pretty solid. We get a scene that takes place back in 1968, where there's a panel and they're talking about viruses and the implications of the future. And there was an epidemiologist that mentioned the fungi and how it can affect the mind and have individuals do things they rather wouldn't do, right? So I
Yeah,
think that I think go ahead.
and zombie ants are actually a thing. So that
Yeah.
actually has some, like, I mean, I know it's taken to the 11th, it's taken leveled up to 11, but that actually is a little bit of a concept. So there could be some justification there.
No, no, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. Yeah, the word pandemic is uttered prominently, and global warming is alluded to as well. While none of these things take place in the game, in the show, it does add a welcome element of real world context that grounds the story in a more meaningful way.
But there are no
Um,
face masks.
no, there are no face masks. Then we jump to 2003, and we meet Joel and Sarah. Pedro Pascal's character, I think, like I said, I think that he did well. To me, Pedro Pascal always plays Pedro Pascal. Pascal. My name is Juan Solo. Um, but I don't think he did a disservice to Joel in the show. I think he did, a pretty decent job portraying him in the show. His daughter, race swap Sarah, I think she did a very good job as well. In the game, you get to control Sarah for a while, which makes her subsequent death that more devastating. Obviously, the show can't offer that kind of immersion, so we get her point of view as far as following her throughout the day. Neighbor's place, school, getting the watch fixed, her experiencing things going on around her, which in turn, when she does die, it makes her death, even that more hard hitting, right? Because her performance was warm and compassionate. You really felt, for her. So I think she did a pretty good job as well. Tommy did he wasn't in it that much, but I think he did a pretty good job. As far as I know, you mentioned that it goes 0 to 60 real fast. So that's what kind of happens in the game. The game, it starts off with them, like they're on the couch and they're joking about the watch that he got. And, they end up watching this movie. She falls asleep. She wakes up, tries to find him, similar in the show. The only thing that the things that are different is following her around as far as throughout her day. But in the game we don't get that. We just get to control her. But it does go from like her waking up in the middle of the night to looking outside to a big ass fucking explosion, going downstairs trying to find her dad. He comes in sporadic and he's like, "Oh, we gotta go." He's got agency. We gotta go. The neighbor's fucking infected, trying to go after him. So yeah, shit gets crazy pretty quick in the game. So that's the only thing I can say as far as why it probably they went from 0 to 60 real fast, because it's similar to how it's played out.
And that's fair. It was just one of those things that, like, this seems like the kind of thing that would probably build up for a couple of weeks before they'd be like, kill all the people. Like,
Right. um, Aesthetically, I thought the show absolutely nails the aesthetics of the game and adapts it to television seamlessly. The earth tones, the rich lighting, the levels of saturation, the vegetation and foliage, overtaking abandoned buildings and roads. It just looks nice. It's something that you've experienced while playing the game.
the one thing that I did notice, and this jumped out at me right away, was Joe has a porno stash, and
He does have one of those bump chicka womp womps.
and I looked at the character model, and he doesn't actually have a porno stash. It's just a normal beard. So it makes me wonder why they decided on the porno stash for
Yeah,
this character.
that was very odd. That was a very odd choice for them to make. Yeah, he in the game he definitely has a full beard. So I don't know what's going on with this stash. I guess we'll find out. Uh,
Hopefully.
Hopefully, right? I know you did mention before that you hope he doesn't get led around by Tess throughout the
Yeah.
entire series. I don't know if they are going to go that. I hope they don't go that way. I know in the game, Tess doesn't last very long. In fact, her days are pretty numbered pretty soon. So I'm hoping they stay true to that and not keep her around even longer to have her, lead him everywhere to be the only one with some urgency and agency. But I didn't. Her character, it was all right. I was kind of over her though. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, all right, I'm kind of over this bitch.
I did
But
find it weird that she gets cheated and yet they're working her over. I'm a little confused. She's the one who gets cheated out of the car battery, and they're working her over
they're working hard.
like she owes them money. What?
Exactly.
Seems a
I was
little
like, what
weird to
is
me, but
yeah, I'm like, what is going on right now? But all right, sure, sure. One of the main differences as far as Joel's motivations, in the show, he's motivated by the car battery to go look for his brother. Like he's concerned about Tommy's well being. He wants to go find him. In the game, it's more of a his group of people need weaponry. They made a gun deal. They get screwed over. The guns get sold to the Fireflies. They confront the Firefly lady, Marlene. Marlene's like, hey, I need you to smuggle this girl out of the city. If you do that, we'll have someone there who give you all the guns and ammo that you need. I promise. And that's how, it starts as far as having Joel and Ellie and Tess, their adventure to get out of the city. But in the show, they use the car battery and trying to find Tommy. So I'm kind of curious what other differences. But it's not a change that is bothersome. At least not for me personally. Whenever they do an adaptation, there's bound to be differences. But as long as they kind of respect the source material, which I think they're doing that. I think they're doing that. So
so far so good anyway. At least
yeah,
from what I
so
can
far
tell.
so far so good. It's only episode number one. This show could go down rails real quick. We know what HBO Max puts out. They recently released Velma, and we all know how that show is. So
You
yeah,
had to do it. You had to do
I
it.
I did. I did. I'm sorry. I did have to do it. I mean, Velma pretty much they're calling us racists. They're calling us racists. So
Oh,
because we don't like the show. So
oh my
yeah,
god, I hate that show so much.
yeah, me too. Me too. So yeah, HBO Max. You just never know what you're gonna get. You never know what you're gonna get. One, it's so crazy too because you get two extremes, right? You get on one hand, you get a show like Velma Greenlit gets ratioed to shit. They turn the comments off because they say it's written review bomb. They call the fans racist because they don't like it, but the show's shit. It's abysmal. And then you get Batgirl, and they completely just scorch earth that movie. Like they completely just cut it, cancel it, erase all the footage, done. I'm like, so it's
Even
just
though,
like,
from what I could tell, it was done right or near
yeah,
enough.
it was completely done. I think it was in post, but I think they were done too. Like it was ready to go, and they were like, nope, we'll scrap it. So they scrap Batgirl, but we keep Velma. They get rid of Henry Cavill, but they keep Ezra Miller. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Warner.
And they have Velma right next to House of the Dragon. So it's like, what
Yeah,
the hell are they doing?
yeah.
What, like, pick a lane. Come on, guys.
Oh my god! Oh, I saw a tweet the other day where Yellow Flash he put up a tweet where shout out to Yellow Flash. It was a picture of it was the Velma review next to Dragon Ball Evolution. And it said something like to the extent of like, guess who's got the top spot now? And it was like, Velma, because it's shit.
Hashtag hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I was like, oh man. But yeah,
That
yeah,
show is so spiteful. I freaking hate it.
yeah.
We already reviewed that garbage. Go watch that video.
Yeah, we did. We did. Didn't have great things to say about it. No one does. No one does. But yeah, so that is The Last of Us. Yeah, Joel got triggered. When he beat the shit out of that guard, he got triggered because the way the guard was pointing the gun at him made him flashback to when, not Ellie, his actual daughter, he was holding her and was shot, which was like crazy to me that the guard was like, "Sir, what? Like, what do I do?" And whomever his commander was like, "I need you to kill them." like,
Yeah,
like that
that's
was.
what I mean about like 0 to 60 in 10 seconds. It's like,
I was I was like, wow, like clearly like I know that's what happens in the game, right? So that's the way she dies in the show is how she dies in the game. But I'm like, I'm just even still like even when that happens, I'm like, man, like clearly they're not infected. Clearly this girl's ankle's fucked. He's holding her. She's like 13, and this card, he's like ready to just put both of them down. I'm just like, wow, that's cold. Some cold shit. But
yeah, I'm interested to see what they'll do though.
yeah, I am as well. I am as well. I'm gonna just see where we go from here. But so I think so. Just personally playing the game and watching the show, I would probably give this episode a 7 out of 10. I thought it was pretty well done. The characters are pretty well aesthetically. It's pretty well. The plot or the motivation, I didn't mind that at all. He definitely had that relationship. I get they're looking at exploring his relationship with Tommy a little bit more. In the game, it's not so much that way, but it's a new view to go towards. So I don't really mind it. So yeah, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd give it a 6. Pretty solid. Like I said, I don't have the knowledge of the source material that you do, so. But I mean, nothing. There was nothing egregious. No, no overt bullshit political messaging or anything like that. So I'm good with it. It's pretty solid. I'm interested to see what they'll do.
Likewise, likewise. All right. Well, we thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment, let us know what you think about episode 1. If we missed anything, thank God we actually hit record button this time. Hit that bell for notifications, share this video out there, and you guys take care.
Bye, everyone.